12 ways people judge you when they first meet you. Did you know that people form a solid impression of you within the first 7 seconds of meeting you? Some research suggests that traits such as trustworthiness are determined in as little as 1/10 of a second. They say not to judge a book by its cover, but we do. And there's a psychological reason for this. Our brains are wired for self-protection. If, for example, your brain deems someone to be rude, it'll sound the alarm to steer clear of that person for your own safety. So with that in mind, here are 12 ways people judge you when they meet you for the first time. Number 1. Appearance. Perhaps this is the most obvious, but the first thing people make judgments on is your appearance. If your hair and clothes are disheveled, others might assume that you are altogether messy or just generally unconcerned, since it may come across as though you can't even be bothered to make yourself presentable. In the same way, people might assume that a woman who wears a lot of makeup does so because she's insecure, or they may think a guy who wears expensive clothes is cocky. These judgments may be inaccurate or unfair, but they're a natural reaction when meeting someone new. Number 2. Your posture. Actions, or in this case, body language, speak louder than words. That makes sense, since without knowing you, other people won't necessarily trust what you say yet. When it comes to first impressions, your posture says a lot about you. It can convey confidence, intelligence, and personality. On the other hand, if you're slumped over with your arms crossed, people might perceive you as bashful, angry, or unapproachable. It could even make you seem less credible. Number 3. Your speaking style. Your speech influences how people feel about you on that first encounter. This one's a little more complex though, because interpretations can vary. Being open and honest might seem authentic to some, while others might consider this oversharing and attention-seeking behavior. Another example is profanity. While it might be totally acceptable to use colorful language around friends who are comfortable with it, some people might find it offensive. Number 4. Choice of colors. While it's important to match your outfit to the occasion, it turns out that the color of what you wear is equally as important. Lighter tones are associated with a friendly attitude, and darker tones are subconsciously related to authority. Blue, in particular, expresses a sense of power, integrity, and knowledge. Number 5. Repetitive nervous habits. There are some common telltale signs of being nervous. For example, you might crack your knuckles, bite your nails, twirl your hair, or tap your pen on the desk. These seemingly inconspicuous little habits are actually quite apparent to others and convey anxiety. Even if the fidgeting is because of boredom, it might be mistaken for nervousness or a lack of self-confidence. Number 6. Your facial expressions. How and when you smile, frown, or raise your eyebrows influences how people perceive you. If, for example, you don't smile when greeting others, you might seem uninterested or distressed. As I mentioned before, people start making judgments within the first few seconds of meeting you, and those judgments are primarily based on their previous interactions and perceptions of others, for better or worse. Number 7. Your voice. People can usually tell if you're interested, friendly, sad, nervous, or tired based on how you sound. Not only that, but they also make judgments based on the attractiveness of your voice. Furthermore, they will make certain assumptions about trust and dominance. Studies have shown that those with deeper voices are perceived to be more dominant, extroverted, and more interested in casual hookups. Number 8. Eye contact. Avoiding eye contact during conversations can make you seem anxious, self-conscious, or dishonest, putting extroverts at a somewhat unfair advantage. Introverts and those who are shy have difficulty maintaining eye contact for prolonged periods. This is particularly true if they're nervous when meeting someone new. Conversely, extroverts and those who are confident don't have this issue. Regardless of whether they're talking to an old friend or a random person they sit next to on the subway, they have no problem making eye contact. Number 9. How often you talk about yourself. Have you ever met someone who always seems to make the conversation about them? It may not even be intentional or in a bad way. They may just be really excited to have found someone like-minded, with shared interests, and want to seem relatable. However, Others may be put off by this and interpret it as egocentric or self-obsessed behavior. Instead, it's better to ask some questions to learn more about them. People love talking about themselves, so it will show genuine concern for the budding friendship. Number 10. Trustworthiness. The subconscious goal of first impression judgments is to determine whether or not you can be trusted. Regardless of the situation, if someone deems you untrustworthy, any efforts to further the relationship are unlikely to be successful. You get one shot at making a first impression, and failing to establish trust at that time could lead to being deemed as manipulative. When that happens, people will generally try to distance themselves. Now, when you appear authentic, others won't see you as a threat, and they'll want to know more about you. Number 11. Phone usage patterns. New smartphones are constantly being released, and there's an app for everything now. As a result, everyone is becoming increasingly reliant on these handheld devices. It's the alarm most people wake up to, and serves as everything from a calculator to a navigation system throughout the day. But your phone habits influence how other people perceive you. In one sense, our phones are great at keeping us connected. However, they can also alienate us from each other. When you check your phone every time a notification goes off, it can make those around you feel unimportant, as if they have to compete for your attention. Being too attached can come off as rude and unprofessional. Number 12. The way you treat others. Imagine being out at a business lunch, and your new colleague completely demeans the waitstaff. That shows a lot about their ego and personality. How you treat others, especially those of lower status or social standing, influences how others perceive you. When you don't show respect or compassion simply because you make more money than someone else, others typically view this negatively. Basically, the way you treat others influences everyone else's judgment about you. So when you go out of your way to do something kind, such as holding the door open for a stranger, you'll be perceived positively. While judging and being judged seems unfair or even cruel, it's a natural reaction to see if the person you've just met is trustworthy and respectable. But don't get hung up on being judged. Just be your authentic self. While first impressions do matter, those who end up getting to know you better have the benefit of learning about the real you. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends so we can keep making them. For more videos like this, hit the subscribe button and remember to click on the notification bell. Also, be sure to check out our other videos as well. Thanks for watching.